Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. Hundreds of jobs are at risk at the steel processing company Caparo after much of it went into administration. Administrators have been called into 16 of Caparo's 20 sites across England and Wales. Like others in the industry, it has been hit by a collapse in steel prices, with many blaming China for dumping its cheap steel in Europe. Tonight, unions are warning that 1 in 6 British steel workers now face losing their jobs. Here's our business correspondent, John Moylan. Thank you. A man has appeared in court charged with poisoning and murdering 4 young men in East London. Stephen Port, who's 40 and from Barking, allegedly met the men on gay websites before inviting them to his flat. Measures to combat what he called the unprecedented threat facing the country. The plans will give parents more scope to cancel their children's passports if they're worried youngsters are at risk of radicalisation. Convicted extremists will also be banned from working with children and vulnerable people. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent Daniel Sanford. Celebrity chef Jamie Oliver has told MPs why he thinks a 10p sugar tax would help reduce childhood obesity. He says adding the tax to cans of soft drink could generate an extra £1 billion a year to help tackle the problem. And he's called on the public to lobby the government for a sugar tax in England. Our health editor Hugh Pym reports. China. Xi Jinping arrives in London this evening at the start of a 4-day state visit. As he set off from Beijing, Mr. Xi praised Britain for what he called its visionary choice to strengthen commercial ties with his country. Our China editor, Carrie Gracie, reports. It's a tale of modern Britain. We're facing a housing crisis because of a serious shortage of new homes. Surprisingly, the least affordable place to live in the UK is not London, but Oxford, where property prices are 16 times the average earnings of people living in the city. Oxford Council says they're facing a catastrophe because workers increasingly can't afford to live there. Our home editor, Mark Easton, reports. Ed Sheeran. They may all sell out stadiums, but they all started out playing in tiny venues, the kind of places which are now closing all around the country. In London, 40% of small music venues have shut in the last decade.